guys, Dorothy here today with Done by Dorothy, and we're here today celebrating our 25 days of Christmas, the digital giveaway, and it's basically going to be like to create Christmas ephemera, and it'll be for the 25 days of Christmas, although I'll probably release the 24th and 25th on the 23rd, just so people have those, you know, if they want to finish up last minute journals for Christmas and that type of thing. So today, the first day, will be there is a 2-page ledger of places that were traveled during the month of December in 1900. There is an 1884 calendar that tells every single thing that happened on the calendar days for December. And there's also a mini postcard. So this will be the digital kit for today. It'll be linked in the description box below. Again, like from a Google Drive, it's actually a JPEG, so you'll be able to download it and print it. And we're going to create a little mini booklet with it. So we're going to actually walk step by step through it. So here's the cover, and I actually use the ledger for the inside. Then you have 8 journaling pages, the back page, and in the back there's a small pocket with the calendar card with just a tear off from when we made it. So you have another journaling spot there. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've already cut my pieces out, so we're going to ink them up. I know a lot of people are like, oh, don't ink on the video, but you know, I have a lot of new beginners that, you know, continuously, you'd be surprised how many times I've gotten contacted going, you know, hey, can you show how you ink up or whatever. So this isn't going to take that long, so we're going to just ink it up really fast. I hope everybody's had a good Thanksgiving and ready to get into December and Christmas on its way. So every day we'll release ephemera, and then we will have a step-by-step video that will tell you what we made with our ephemera. And then I want to make sure that I have this, and this is not even because obviously this was the original scanned pages, so we're just gonna sort of make it work. And, you know, if it's not even, that sort of goes with the old school charm of whatever. Now, you do not have to ink the back. We're only going to ink the front. There we go. Then I have a piece of coffee dyed paper, and I've already folded it in half. Now, I need to take this on the fold that I just did and fold it back, because this is going to be our inside. So you need to make sure the white sides are on the outside. I folded this in half, so I'm going to open it up like a booklet, because this, again, is going to be the inside. Okay? So, I'm actually using art glitter glue. It, you know, dries really fast. I'm not sewing around the edges in this video, you know, just for the sake of time. You very well, you know, could easily sew around it. And if you have a sewing machine and you've been sewing in your journals, then, you know how to do that. Okay, so we're just going to line this up on our fold line, and I left, roughly a 1/4 inch or so at the bottom. Maybe a little bit less on the one side. Let's slide it up a little bit more. And you can leave that, you know, as large of a area around, because we're going to cut around it. Okay, so we'll just come around, and I'm just going to cut and leave that edge. And I don't want mine straight. I want mine to have sort of that more random vintage feel to it. So I'm just sort of cutting around mine, not worrying about anything being perfect. And then sort of blend. I'm going to go around the bottom too, so that's why I left a little bit more than what I did, because I'm going to cut just a little bit of line around there, sort of make sure that curves around. Make sure I'm still in frame. Yep. Okay. So then you're going to fold. Then again, I'm going to ink around the edges really fast on the inside and the outside. just because it gives it that extra added depth. And it doesn't take that long to ink. So, you know, if you don't want to watch the inking part, you know, feel free to fast forward ahead. And, you know, this goes together pretty easy. You know, not a lot to it, but it looks really great. You know, perfect for the inside, even as a stocking stuffer, you know, or just, you know, to write your memories down in and pop in your photo album, you know, for this Christmas. You know, you got pages that you can do there, put photos in and give to somebody, or, you know, however you want to. Okay, so we're going to start, no, we're going to start by adding our inside pages. And then what I did there is I have these pre-folded. I'm just sort of going to take my pencil and I'm just going to sort of trace around, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Again, I'm going to sort of trace around because I'm going to actually tear these. I just sort of traced so I could get the size, because I know I want these to be smaller so they fit inside. So like in this one, you can see, you know, that I tore and left, but I liked the torn edges. So I just sort of, and you know, feel free, if you're making this, you very easily could put more, you know, pages in there. If you wanted to make a complete mini journal, you could do that. And again, I'll link the video where we made our tear ruler. It's just made out of this was actually on clearance, a 50-cent Fisker ruler from Walmart. Okay, now we're going to ink up the inside and outside of these, because it adds so much to your page when you add that little bit of, and I'm using Vintage Photo Distress ink. This is actually one of the small ones. I have a bigger one, but I actually like the smaller one with this blender. I like using the smaller ones because, well, like with these, because when I have the bigger one, I always feel like, for whatever reason, maybe out of habit, I always hit the same areas. So I have areas that stay really dry, and then, you know, the other ones are really wet. Then when you go to re-ink, you know, you have spots that are too inked and not, you know, others that are drier. So I just use the small one. It's just probably one of my weird pet peeves. And again, you know, if you don't like the inking, feel free to fast forward. You know, let us know, you know, if you want the tutorials for the ephemera, or would you just rather have the ephemera? I know a lot of people really like tutorials. They give them new ideas, or they may be new. And I'm sorry for the sniffles, you guys. It's just that time of year. And we are using some maybe different items. Maybe some that newer people may not have thought about using. Maybe some older people, because sometimes you just, you know, don't think about it, or, you know, different ways to use things. And I'm a heavy inker, so, you know, you might want lighter edges. You may not even want yours. And you know, if you don't want to have to ink them, you could always, you know, if you're pre-planning, you're going to make several booklets, or you're going to make a block, I would tear all my pages down, then tea stain them or coffee dye them. You know, if you throw them in the oven to dry, you know, each one, then they're going to be darker on the outside. So, you know, that's a way to get around inking if you don't want to waste a lot of ink. And then make sure your pages are the right direction so they're all lined up together. Just remember when you tear them that you need to tear all of them together if you want them the same. Now, if you want them, you know, to be more non-uniform and, you know, everything, you know, give it more of that random edging, you know, then tear each one. Then you're going to have different sizes and that type of thing. And you could put an envelope in the middle of this. I mean, you could do, you know, a ton of things. I'm going to pause really fast. I need to grab, okay, sorry about that. I think I even cut off before I got done saying I was grabbing one thing. I'm actually using crochet thread. You can use any kind of thread you want. I'm just using crochet thread because it's for Christmas. You know, if you want to wax it, you can wax it. You can buy waxed thread. I know that Dritz, which is like, they sell sewing items, they have a waxer you can use so you can wax your thread. And then I'm going to do this. It's not going to be very big, so I'm just going to do a little bit over 2 times the size. And there's not going to be a whole lot to this one. I'm just going to do a 3-hole binding method. And I do use a bigger needle, but it has a sharper point, just because I like that way. And then I sort of, you know, just sort of line it up where it's even. Hold it flat. Now, at this point, if you are newer, feel free to use binding clips. I'll show you how you could do that if you're, remember, these are teeny tiny. Let me get a bigger one down here. You know, if you're going to do that, you know, just put the binding clip on it. You know, if you want to hold it into place, make sure it's even before you clip it. Yeah, you can do it like that. And you could do it, you know, on each side. The more pages, it just holds it into place better. I mean, if you've done it for a while, then... Okay, then I know I want to go in the center, so I'm just going to guesstimate the center. Again, you can measure if you're worried about being even. Then I'm just going to pull it through. Grab my end. I'm going to turn it over. And I know that this is about... We're down, so I'm going to come down a little ways. About 1 inch down. Push it through. There's not that many pages with this, so it's pretty simple. Make sure you grab this thread so it don't get in there. Then I'm going to go back down here, and I'm going to come about 1 inch in, which is going to put me about the same spot. Push through, pull it through again, grab your end. Then I'm going to come up through the middle. Hopefully you guys can see that. Come up through the middle. And then I'm going to make sure that this thread is, this one's on this side and this one's on this side. I'm going just to do a square knot, so I'm going to go behind, through the front with the right hand side. Then I'm going to take the left, go behind, through. And again, you know, this isn't a big full journal, so you don't have to be as... And I'm just going to clip my ends and leave those in there just because I think they're cute. So, and we will use, you know, the leftover thread that you've cut off. So, then you just take your binding clips off, and you've got your mini journal bound. Okay, so we've got that done. So pretty much the inside of our journal is completely done. So now let's work on the outside. Okay, let's see what our outside looks like over here. So this is what we've got. So I always start on the back. I always do my front last. That's just my goofiness, I guess. So we need to add our, you know what, let's start with the front. We'll do it backwards today. Okay, so I used this. This is just a piece of this just random sort of decorative paper, sort of thick. I got it out of Walmart. Has scrap bags of paper, but you could use any kind of, you know, any kind of red paper or any green, or, you know, whatever color you wanted to add. I just chose this because I had it. But I don't like how bright it is. I don't know if you can tell the difference between that red and that red. So we're going to darken this up some. So let me... Okay. So first of all, I'm going to take my vintage photo. I'm going to go around the edges. And it doesn't have to be perfect again. I'm just going to go around their edges, darkening it up a little bit. Okay, then I'm going to hold it flat, and you don't have to be, I'm just going to brush it across the top. Then I'm going to grab my black. Because I just want to darken it up a little bit more. Then I can drag my black across the top. Okay. Put my black back up. And again, it was the black set Tim Holtz Distress Ink. I'm just going to glue this down. I was using my art glitter glue. And I'm just going to push it up against where my spine would be. And it doesn't even have to be centered if you want. There we go. So the next step, I want to use my music paper. And I do not want this to be straight. So I'm going to use my tear ruler again. And I don't care if the one side stays straight because I'm going to try to butt it up. But I mean, if you, some people, if you do one, you got to do them all. So there you go. Hit it with your vintage photo. Again, just adds another depth of coloring. And there's no rhyme to reason that. I just sort of throw it on there. And then I'm going to just, I know you guys are probably going, what? Just throw it down. Doesn't matter where it goes. There's that. Then, this is a tea bag. Just rip it open. Okay, sorry we had to step away for a minute. The hubby came out. But, so we're just going to randomly rip this. No big, you know, I just try to make sure it's not all even. And what I do with these is, you know, they're filled with tea when you get them. And, you know, they're folded like this. They've got the little staple at the top. I just let them dry. I lay them out. I let them dry. When they're dry, I just rip one of the sections off the bottom, which opens it up, but the staple will still be at the top. Let me see if I have one. Yeah, see, this one still has the staple at the top, so I just literally, it's folded like this, just rip the bottom, and then if you sit and ruffle it, all of the tea falls out. There's even still some in there. Most of it falls out. You can dust it all out later, and then you can use it, and it's a layer, or you can use like sewing pattern paper, butcher's paper, painter's paper, you know, their masking paper. So I'm just gonna randomly, I sort of like the randomness. That's just me. Just glue it down. And I don't worry if like some of the little ends are loose and sticking up because I like that. Okay. Now, something people may not, I'm going to use this. And this is just a section out of a Tasteful Selections Honey Gold Bite-Sized Potato Bag. The yellow potato bag, but it sort of already has that vintage feel. And when I do that, I actually like to use Fabri-Tac because I think it holds a little bit better. So I'm just gonna randomly put my Fabri-Tac down. I'm gonna do that way. Then I always put a little bit on here. And when I printed out my ephemera, I just printed it out on 24-pound paper, 96 bright. You get it, you know, 500 in a ream at Walmart, just because it was cheap. So I just want to layer this on here, with, you know, randomness. I want to show a little bit more of the music paper. I think I'll pull it down towards the bottom and just stick it down. And that's pretty much the bottom other than our bow. So in a bow, I just double up my thread. So I have two. Let me try to pull up so you can see this. Then I just cross over and make a knot. So I twist it over. Then I just wrap it around like when you're tying your shoes. Pull it through. Grab the loop. Then tighten it down. Then I just sort of pull until I get my bows nice and, well, for me, I like them even. So I sort of have like a little double bow. See, I don't like how big and loopy that one is, so. Okay, then I just pull the tails down, clip them so they're even. I have my little bow. Then I just figure out where I want it, and not always the same spot. I actually think I want that up here this time. I'll show you my other one in a little bit. I just put a little drop, sort of take some of it off, because I don't like it that thick. And then you don't have to really worry about knotting it, because once you glue it, it sort of makes it stay where it's at. So, okay, so like this one, put the bow here on the bottom. I just sort of liked it. So that's what that front looks like. In this front, you know, I have it lower down, but I have the bow at the top. So, you know, you sort of get a variety, which sort of makes it nice if, you know, you're doing multiples, then each one's a little bit different. Okay, let's move to the back. Okay, I have my music paper left, and I just want to tear it because I want to make a pocket. So I'm gonna, can you guys see? Yeah. So I'm just gonna tear off the ends. Figure out, you know, about what size I need. Okay, so I need to. I'm gonna take a little bit more of this off. There we go. Then, again, just ink up around the edges. Set. Then I'm going to take my glitter glue. Just go right along the edges. Then I'm going to glue it down. Now, when we tore our paper in here, I know a lot of people are probably going, what in the world are you going to do with all the scraps? Because it does create scraps. So, I'm going to take one of those tear-offs. I'm going to ink around the edges. Inside and out, because you're going to see both of these. And then we're going to take the remainder of our tea bag, just randomly, you know, tear it, goob it up. throw it down. I'm going to use the little tear off of the music paper I have left because I don't want to waste anything. So, as even tore up through the middle, I'm just going to ink around it and let it go. Just put it down there. A little bit more ink over here under the... Okay. So we have that. I'm just going to take our little card. It's already inked. There's some more glitter glue on the back of it. Randomly throw it on there. Okay, then we're going to grab the last remainder of our little scrap piece, and we're going to do another bow just like we did. So, double it up, make a loop, wrap it around just like you're tying your shoe, pull up your loop, tighten it down, make your, your bow however big you want it to be. I mean, obviously you wouldn't want this big massive bow. Trim your ends, just hold them and trim them. Grab your Fabri-Tac. This one, make sure you try to put towards the top, and I'll tell you why. Because this stringy Fabri-Tac, you don't really want it in the bottom where you have to shove it in and out of the pocket, because this is just going to end up causing issues. So preventive maintenance. Just going to put it up here. So that opens up and you've got places to journal in the back, and you could stencil on there, you could do, all kinds of different stuff, and then just slide it in your pocket. I want to glue this down because the last thing I want is for it to get all caught up in the pocket. So while we're letting that glue dry, we come in here on this, we're going to grab another piece of our scrap, just rip off a piece. Oops. Ink it up. Alright, so with the remainder scrap that we have left, because I pulled off a big section, I'm just going to sort of wrap it around my fingers and get it stuck. Sort of randomly, wad it up, because what we're going to do is create a string pile. Okay, so take my Fabri-Tac and just put a patch of it there. Take my string, I'm going to make sure my ends go towards the center, because I don't want them just randomly floating out there where they can, and yes, you'll get your fingers a little sticky. Put some Fabri-Tac on the, probably just ink up, make sure you do it on the side you didn't ink up. Okay, put my lid back on that. And I just leave a little bit out, just because I like the way that the thread looks. Okay, then put this back over here and grab my stamp. And I actually have the 25 days from Stampin' Up. This came out in, I'm not sure when. I don't know. I know it's still, you can still find it. I actually got mine at a yard sale for $5. So it's the 25 days, and we'll be using, each one on our days. So I have one up here. I'm gonna ink it up. use a piece of my scrap. I want to stamp it off because I want it just sort of light. So we'll just line it up in there. There we go. Then put the whole thing in there. Voila! For your front. Have your 8 journaling pages. Your back. And the very back with the journaling spot on the back too. So you may want to add a little glue there. And I mean, you can go back through and sort of see if you need to glue somewhere. I always sort of check when I'm done. Put my stopper back in my so there you go. So let me put this one back in here. There's the first one, second one, so you can see the difference in those. Obviously the papers are torn differently. And then you can see the difference you can do in the back. This one I actually went over with a little bit of red. So, you know, you can create it however you want. So we'll see you tomorrow with the second of our 25 Days of Christmas giveaway for the digitals. And, you know, I hope you enjoyed it and let me know how it works. You know, go to the Done by Dorothy Facebook page and post pictures if you finish them and let me see what you did with them. So we'll see you tomorrow for number 2 of 25. Have a great day.